I didn't want to do it at first, and they'd been after me to do one for about 2 years. And
Ricky Nelson was one of America's most beloved teen idols. He captured hearts with his good looks, charming persona, and incredible talent. But when he died tragically in a plane crash in 1985, many believed his life had ended in financial ruin. Despite his massive fame, rumors swirled that he was broke, his marriage crumbling, and his fortune all but gone. But what followed shocked everyone. A twist of fate and a secret will change everything. Lawyers found out that Ricky's record companies had been secretly stealing from him for decades. Despite being thought of as financially unstable, Ricky had amassed a hidden fortune tied to his music. This revelation turned his children into millionaires almost overnight, but not everyone benefited from his wealth. As his estate became embroiled in a long legal battle, the truth about Ricky's financial legacy came to light. In the end, what was once considered lost was now a life-changing fortune. The question remains, how did this happen, and who really ended up with all of Ricky Nelson's wealth? Ricky Nelson's story began long before he hit the stage. Born into a family of entertainers, his childhood was far from ordinary. His father, A.Z. Nelson, led a big band, and his mother, Harriet Hilliard, was an actress. From a young age, Ricky's life was lived under the spotlight. He wasn't just a child. He was part of the family brand, starring alongside his brother on the hit radio show The Adventures of Ozzie and Harriet. By the time he was 8 years old, Ricky was already a television star. Unlike other kids, his playground was a recording studio, and his life was rehearsed before an audience. While most kids were playing outside, Ricky was memorizing lines, singing, and becoming a household name. By 17, he wasn't just famous, he was a teen sensation with millions of adoring fans. In 1957, Ricky's career exploded with his rendition of Fats Domino's I'm Walking on his family's TV show. The record sold over 1 million copies, and he became the face of teenage cool. However, behind the scenes, Ricky was struggling with the weight of fame, his overbearing father, and the intense pressures of living up to America's expectations. Still, he thrived, turning his stardom into a global empire. As Ricky's fame skyrocketed, his personal life began to unravel. Despite his public image as a clean-cut teen idol, behind closed doors, he was living a much wilder life. His relationships with women, fast cars, and late-night parties became more chaotic, much to the dismay of his parents. They controlled every aspect of his life, from his finances to his romantic relationships, and Ricky began to rebel. By the late 1960s, Ricky's career took a downturn. The British invasion, led by the Beatles, shifted the musical landscape, and his once iconic sound struggled to stay relevant. He grew frustrated with the old guard of musicians who didn't respect rock and roll, leading him to form his own band, the Stone Canyon Band. The new direction cost him, both financially and artistically, but he was determined to break free from the control his family had over him. As his personal life became more tumultuous, his marriage to Chris Harmon suffered. The couple's lavish lifestyle, fueled by Ricky's fame and wealth, was draining his finances. The pressure of maintaining appearances while dealing with their crumbling relationship took a toll on Ricky, and by the 1970s, he was financially strained and emotionally exhausted. Despite his best efforts to reinvent himself, it seemed like fame and fortune were slipping through his fingers. Ricky Nelson's life came to a tragic end on December 31, 1985, when the plane he was traveling in crashed in Texas. He was only 45 years old. The crash killed not only Ricky but also his fiancée, Helen Blair, and 5 members of his band. His death shocked the world, and it seemed as though his fortunes had vanished with him. The music world lost one of its biggest stars, and his family was left to deal with the aftermath. In the wake of his death, rumors swirled that Ricky had died without a will. His estate was reportedly in significant debt due to his lavish lifestyle, mounting legal fees, and reckless spending. His ex-wife, Chris, moved quickly to take control of his assets, claiming that Ricky had left nothing behind for his children. But what they didn't know was that Ricky had a secret will, one that would change everything. Ricky's brother, David, uncovered the hidden will, and it revealed a shocking truth. The will named Ricky's 4 children as his only heirs and appointed David as the executor of the estate. The battle for Ricky's estate became a fierce legal war. His ex-wife, mother, and even a mysterious 5th child, Eric, all fought for a piece of his legacy. But the real drama lay in the wealth Ricky had left behind, an empire tied to his music, not just cash or property. As the legal battles over Ricky's estate raged on, a surprising discovery came to light. Ricky's real fortune wasn't in cash or property, but in his music. The royalties from his catalog, particularly from digital formats like streaming, were worth millions, and this was what his children would eventually inherit. However, the music industry was hiding a shocking secret. Record labels had been stealing from Ricky's estate for years, using fraudulent accounting practices to siphon off royalties. In 2011, the Nelson estate filed a lawsuit against Capitol Records for stealing millions of dollars. The lawsuit revealed that the record label had been hiding unmatched income and underreporting digital sales, all while using outdated and deceptive accounting tricks. The estate accused Capitol of fraud, claiming that millions of dollars were being funneled away from Ricky's heirs. The case turned into a massive legal battle, with millions of dollars on the line. In 2014, the case finally settled, with Capitol Records agreeing to pay an undisclosed amount and promising better transparency in the future. However, that wasn't the end of the legal drama. In 2020, the Nelson estate took on Sony Music, accusing the company of cutting royalties through internal fees. The settlement was huge, $12.7 million, along with a 36% increase in streaming royalties moving forward. Ricky's children finally saw real money from their father's legacy, proving that even after his tragic death, his fortune was far from over. Ricky Nelson's story is one of fame, struggle, and a lasting legacy that continues to shape the music world today. From his rise as America's first teen idol to his tragic end in the plane crash, it seemed like his fortunes had evaporated. But as the legal battles over his estate unfolded, the hidden wealth tied to his music emerged as the true legacy he left behind. It wasn't just about the money, it was about the music, the impact he made, and the indelible mark he left on pop culture. For Ricky's children, the legal battles were long and complex, but they ultimately became the beneficiaries of their father's legacy. His catalog of songs, which had once seemed lost in the shuffle, was now a source of massive wealth. What had once been a hidden fortune turned into a multi-million-dollar empire, ensuring that Ricky's music would live on for generations. In the end, it was his songs, more than anything, that kept his spirit alive. Ricky's story serves as a reminder that fame is fleeting, but true legacies, those tied to passion, talent, and artistry, can outlast even the most turbulent of lives. His children may have inherited the wealth, but it was the music that secured their place in history.